Hi everyone. Today it is such a gorgeous day out here. It is 17 degrees and it's going to be a high of 18. So what a beautiful day for me to be out in my backyard, bringing to you some of my fall decor that I'm going to be doing. So this video is going to show you how I'm going to plant some new plants that I purchased, as well as reuse items that I have in my garden to recycle some of the plants that are already in some of my planters. So come along with me and I'll show you what I'm going to do. If you're new to my channel, please make sure to subscribe so that you don't miss on any upcoming videos. And for those of you following continually, thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate it. So again, make sure to subscribe, make sure to like and comment. Here I have some planters. This particular planter I had on my window ledge on the back window sill, and I'm going to reuse this plant in a couple of the pots, at least one or two. And this is a sweet potato vine, and with the sun exposure that it had on the back window here, it's gone a lovely chartreuse green. It was a solid wine color, and now it's gone a nice chartreuse green, and it's kind of variegated. So some of the dead leaves that are here, I'm just simply going to pull those off and do my cleanup afterwards just to refresh that. So that is going to come right out of this basket here, and I'll just pull it like this, dig a nice hole and dig it out and lift it and put it in a new planter and give it a nice heavy soaking with water. I have Dusty Miller right here, and I'm going to be taking this out and using it in some of my pots as well. There's some in these three pots right here. I've got about 4 of them. I'll be digging those out, just simply going around the base of it, parting the other plants, because these are all going to be taken apart and gotten rid of. They're pretty well done for the season, but I want to reuse the Dusty Miller. Dusty Miller is really nice in the fall, as well as when there's a frost that hits. The Dusty Miller seems to not be affected by a really light frost, so it holds up really well coming on to the winter months, and it provides that light silvery foliage in against all the greenery that I'll have at the front of my house. In this planter I have Swedish ivy. I always plant that every year. It's a thick green foliage. It has a little bit of white veining on the sides, on the edge of that plant there, which gives it a real pretty leaf. So I'm going to take that out. I'm either going to take that out of this pot, or I'm going to dig out these plants here and reuse it, because that pot is really nice and it already has all of the soil in it. So Swedish ivy will be something that I'll reuse. And in addition, I have a few bunches of marigolds. They just need a little bit of tender love by me just doing a little bit of pruning and deadheading. So I've got them here in these white buckets that I'm thinking that I'll reuse and add at the front of my house as well. In addition, there's a little bit more variety of the Swedish ivy in that brown can with more of the marigold. And up on my step here by the first level of our deck, I have a can that I put together that sat up here throughout the summer that has English ivy in here, as well as some more marigold. And I am going to, I think I'm just going to clean that up, deadhead, by taking off some of the dead flowers that are all dried up, just to clean it up, give it a good water, and I'm simply going to move that to the front of the house to use on the front step as well. In our backyard, on our top level of this deck, we have several other plants that we have enjoyed for this season. I'm going to be taking them apart. I have more of the ivy, the English ivy, as well as the marigold, and as well as a beautiful dark wine sweet potato vine, which actually is in much better shape in this area because of all the shade that we have here than out front on our lower levels of our deck and on the patio. So again, this level has some better sweet potato vine to select from because it hasn't been attacked that much by a lot of the bugs, and the leaves are in better shape and the foliage is in really good condition. So I'm going to take out this Dusty Miller from this pot. Those roots are really in there deep. And I'll bring this over and show you. So this is one of the plants that I'm going to be using in the pot that is going to be redone from my front window. So this was this is a pink mini rose that I used in this pot. We'll take that out and we'll remove this coleus. So I'm just taking out all of the plants right now. That's probably gonna not be reused. And I'm just trying to get the rest of this rose out here because it's rather prickly. There we go. And there's a lovely section here. Take out that of ivy. So I'm removing all of the plants carefully first out of the pot. There's a little more piece of the rose. Oops. And the tag. So that soil is actually good soil. It's just a bit clumped up. So I'm just breaking that up. It's a little bit root bound on the bottom. And when I say root bound, I just mean that the roots are all clumped together really tight. So I'm loosening that to help with the airflow for the newly rearranged plant. Take out those roots there. We don't need all of that. See there, that's root bound. So I'm going to get rid of that. Although there's not a plant in it, it's still, for me, root bound. And take that off and get rid of that. So I'm left with some nice soil here. And what I'm going to do is actually take a little bit out and just place it here on my tarp, because I want to be able to get the plants in on that nice space. And I'm just going to go over here and get a little bit of new soil to add into this pot to freshen that up. So this is Miracle Grow, and it's just a potting mix that has some nice nutrients in it. I actually just had a crazy thought. If there was something in here like a mouse, this video was going to be done because I don't do mice. But I think we're good. It's been sitting for a while, so you just never know. See, I'm not making that story up. There's a peanut, so there's been a squirrel in my bag. See? And that's why I haven't had good luck with my vegetables this year. There's been rodents everywhere in my garden this year. I'm going to be reusing this Dusty Miller, this English ivy. These two plants do really well in the cold, so they'll carry me through, I don't know, into November or so. And then I'm going to be reusing this sweet potato vine. So you see the colors there. I've got the silver, the green, and the deep purple. Now I want a little bit more ivy. So I have some ivy in this pot here that I'm going to dig out and reuse. I'm going to get rid of a little bit of petunias that are left there, just to clean that up. We don't want to transplant that. And there, see, there's the ivy. So this is some more of the English ivy that I'm going to be reusing out of this pot. And as you can see, it has some lovely dark wine on the leaves there, which picks up on the colors that I'm going to be putting in with this sweet potato vine. So it's going to be a nice complement to that pot when it's done. So we'll just dig that out. Just create a little trough around the outside. And lift that up because we don't need all of that soil. And I'm just going to lay that for demonstration purposes. See right there? I could either put it there inside of the pot, or what I'm thinking is it's going to go on the side like that. So it's picking up on the wine in the leaves of the sweet potato vine. See there? Isn't that pretty? Very nice. Okay, so I have one more plant that I think I'm going to be putting in with this pot. This is all going to be thrown out, so we're not using any of that. We'll put that in our yard waste bag. In this can right here, which looks like a little watering can, I could leave that in there, but I'm thinking I might do something different with this. So I'm going to remove everything out of this can. And it also did really well, has lots of deep roots in here. So I'm just sectioning it off to get through, make it easier to pull out, and I think there it comes. There we go. So that has some more marigolds, which I'm going to take off because we're not using that on the window ledge. And there we go. And then I'm just going to clean off anything that looks a little bit dried up or not really growing right, but that's in pretty good shape. So that's going to go right here like that. Okay, so now I'm going to plant this in the front and the taller items in the back. I'm just going to take a little quick look around my garden here just to see if there's anything else I want to use in this. I don't believe so. I do have some marigolds down here. I think I'm going to grab this Dusty Miller out of this pot to anchor on this side. So we're going to dig this one out of here. There we go. Another nice selection. So you can see that I haven't gone to the store to buy anything. I'm reusing what's in my garden to continue with my gardening for the fall season to make this arrangement. Now let's put it together. So I've brought out all of my plants from the backyard that I took apart. They were again the marigolds, the Swedish ivy, the English ivy, and the sweet potato vine. And I'm going to be taking apart my 2 pots here at the front on either side of my garage door to get them ready to put the fall mums and assortment of plants in. This was a really nice plant. It's called, and I left the tag in here, Graceful Grasses King Tut. And it was $4.99, and that was purchased from one of our local nurseries called Kingsway Greenhouses. And it grew really pretty. It's the first time using it. I'd like to reuse that if I could. Look at the sweet potato. That's the bulb on a sweet potato vine, like a red potato. I'm just knocking off some of the soil to reuse it because there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. And here we have some more ivy and some more Dusty Miller. In these pots here, I'm going to be using purple fountain grass. I picked up 2 of these at a local nursery in our area. And that nursery I'm going to give shout out to. It's called Wreckers. And it really wasn't, busting my budget. They were either $8.50 each or 2 for $16. Now that my planter boxes are all full of the soil, I'm going to go ahead and put my plants in. So right now I'm putting in this white mum in this black pot. It came in this store-bought pot, but I want the container to sit a bit higher on my front step, so I've transplanted it into a pot that I took apart with my summer flowers. And I'm just adding some soil to the top of it. And there you have it. So one white mom done, one more to go. So this is the other summer pot that I'm going to take apart to put my other white mum in. I really have a hard time just getting rid of plants during the summer. I mean, after the summer is done, because it just feels like I'm wasting them. So that's why I like to reuse some of them if I can. But these ones don't go with my color scheme or type of plants that I'm using for fall. So I'm simply going to pull those out. They're coming out relatively easy. This is coleus and geranium. I know some people winter over their geraniums. I just don't have the room or the time or the patience to do so once summer is done, because I move on to the fall season and Christmas, which is coming up soon. And then this is a sweet potato vine that I'm removing from that. And I could reuse that, but I'm not sure right now at this point if I am, so I'm just going to take that out. So this is the other white mum that I'm going to remove from this smaller pot to put in this large pot. And before I do so, I'm just going to dig a little trench by removing some of the soil from this pot. That is good rich soil, so I'm not going to get rid of that. And I'll use it to top up the pot. So just gently knock that out, loosen up the roots. And place that in the pot like that. Just a little push down. And then I'm going to just use my hand because it's easier to feel where I need it. And put some soil back on the top of that. All the way around. And just tamp it down a bit. And that'll perk up a little bit more once it's watered. Thanks for watching. Make sure again, if you're not following me, to subscribe to Anthea Style, like and comment, and tell your friends. Bye for now.